have a message for you from one of the families we've fundraised for over a year now, who wrote one of the end notes to Genocide Bad. Elena's father, Wasim Mahmoud Hamed, he's an anesthesiologist who spent every day of the last year and a half of this genocide in hospitals trying to help his fellow people in Gaza. And he wrote to me, "We are not just hungry, we are truly starving. Our bodies are giving up, not from illness, but from empty stomachs and fading strength. The medical staff, the patients, the children, we are all collapsing slowly. This isn't just a lack of food, it's a slow, deliberate erasure of life." We've said for many years that Gaza was a concentration camp, like Auschwitz. But now Gaza is an extermination camp, like Treblinka. I am doing a different kind of fundraiser this week. But before I talk to you about that and how we're going to raise these funds, I'd like you to watch something with me. My Instagram feed right now is a never-ending stream of children who are starving to death. And I know that there are many of you who follow me who are also seeing that, but I know that there are many of you who follow me who don't see that. And I know it can be really overwhelming. Not everyone is in a mental place where they can process the cries of children who are starving to death. But I'm going to ask you to bear witness with me for about 3.5 minutes. If you haven't seen and heard the voices of the children who are starving to death, I just want you to sit with me for 3.5 minutes. If you start to feel overwhelmed and you have the urge to swipe away, I ask you to just breathe, focus on your breathing, continue to bear witness. You can cry with me if you want. And then afterwards, we're going to talk about what we're going to do about it. As you watch, I want you to imagine these are your children or children that you love. And I want to address some of the defense mechanisms that I've seen in the comments on these types of videos. One is the accusation that these are old videos or videos of children outside of Gaza. That's not true. These are all children within Gaza who are suffering like this right now, today. If they haven't died, that is, by the time you watch this video. Second, I see people saying really ableist things like, well, they're only starving to death because they have some kind of disability or some kind of illness, as if it's okay for disabled and ill kids to starve to death. And as if chronic malnutrition for 1.5 years doesn't cause illnesses like scurvy and rickets and organ failure. And the most infuriating comments come from people who blame the parents and the adults in these videos and say, look how healthy the mom looks. Yes, children starve to death first, okay? Their bodies are trying to grow while they're trying to survive. Adults have decades of fat stores to draw on, and we're not trying to continue growing. We're done growing. Children always starve to death first. The youngest, starting with the youngest and the most vulnerable. So I've included the testimonials of some parents who are watching their children starve to death and talking about what that's like. And I want you to imagine that that is you. And we're going to be brave and we're going to bear witness for 3.5 minutes when, for these children, this has been their reality for 1.5 years and they don't get to swipe away after a few minutes.
جسمي عظم جسمي كله باين لأنه معي سوداء صغيرة حاد من كتر ما عملوا عمليات البطنة. يعني أنا حقيتني من زمان طالع برا لأنه أنا حالتي صعبة كتير. عملوا لي عملية في الطحال، عملية وقف نزيف، وكل مرة يقول لأمي ابنك استعوذ الله فيه. أنا كل يوم بتحصل على لأن أنا قاعد وولادي بيجروا والولاد بيلعبوا برا، أنا بس اللي قاعد لأن أنا ما بقدرش أعمل شيء لأن والخيمة قتلتني من من الشوم. أنا كل يوم بعيط بس كمان من الشوم. يعني فوق وجع بطني ومغص. الجو أكل ظهري أكله.
ياما بدي خبزة، بدي أكل زي الخلق، مجنونة أجيب ليها. ابني صغير يا ولد، ولا حليمة ولا بيضة ولا شيء. مش علي أنا، مش مشكلة. ابني صار عمره 1.5 سنة، أنا مش قادرة أرضعه، مش قادرة أفطمه كمان. إيش طعمي؟ لا ياكل من لحمي ولا يصير لي شيء.
أنا أموت أنا وياهم في نفس اليوم. مرض صعب. أصعب إشي في الحياة الإنسان يكون صحته تعبانة. كان يمشي ما كانش فيه إشي، كانت صحته فيه. أنا بدي إياه يتعالج.
ايش نفسك؟
نفسي يتعالج، نفسي يرجع زي أول، يمشي أشوفه بيكبر قدام.
أكل وشرب. الأكل بقى تروح تجيب إن حفظ الله كان بقى تاكل عشان الشبان. حفظ الله إذا كانت تاكل. كيف يعني بدي أعيش بالعمر؟ أنا يتيم وكانت أم تفرحني. أول واحد بقى تفرحني بحبة بسكوت بس بخبزة بقى. أمي ماتت تيجي عادة.
توفى بسبب سوء الغذاء وعدم توفير الحليب واحتياجاته الخاصة وعدم توفير العلاج له. هذا الطفل توفى اليوم بسبب عدم توفير علاج له وعدم توفير الحليب له. فاحنا بنطالب من كل العالم ومن كل العالم العربي وكل واحد عنده ضمير وعنده إنسانية وعنده كرامة انه ينظر بعين الرحمة لهذول الأطفال.
The fundraiser I'm doing this week is for Palestine Legal. And that's because one of the great shames of my life that I'll have to carry to my grave is that I have not disrupted the US society to such an extent during this extermination as to have been arrested. I have 2 young children. I'm their primary caregiver, and that's just not something that I've felt that I'm able to do. But there are people who are courageous, who have given everything, put their bodies and their time on the line, and they've been arrested, they've been fired, they've risked far more than I have. So this week, I'm giving away a personalized copy of Genocide Bad. I'm gonna make it out to you. I'm gonna write your name. I'm gonna write you a note thanking you for your solidarity with the people of Gaza. And to enter to win, you're either going to engage in some kind of disruptive collective action, or if you can't do that, if like me, you feel like, you've got people depending on you, or maybe your citizenship is on the line, or you just feel like you can't take that risk, we can at least cover their legal fees. So you're going to donate at least $5, but as much as you are able, as much as you think is right, to Palestine Legal, the first donation link in my bio. And then you're going to send an email with either your donation receipt or telling me about the action you're taking this week to stop genocide. And you're going to email that to t4gaza@gmail.com, the letter T, the number 4, gaza@gmail.com. Only 2 people have entered the giveaway so far this week. I don't know if it's just burnout or despair, but we're going to think about the hundreds of thousands of children who are being starved to death by Israel. And we're going to think specifically about the children whose voices we just heard as we decide, what are we doing in the next week? What are we donating in the next week? How are we organizing to end the siege, allow food into Gaza, and end their suffering? For everyone who bore witness with me, who is still trying to do something to stop this genocide, I love you. You're amazing. You're my mashpacha.